Okay, let's talk about AI in the classroom, because, it's not some far-off future thing anymore. It is here. It's in the lecture halls, it's in the library, it's on basically every student's laptop. And it's totally changing how we do everything. Research, writing, studying. But of course, with all this new power comes a massive debate.
And that really brings us to the big question we're going to tackle in this explainer. Is AI some kind of revolutionary tutor that actually deepens our understanding? Or is it just a high-tech shortcut that lets us coast by? Well, we're going to dive in and see what the actual research has to say about it.
All right, first things first. Let's tackle the biggest fear head-on, what I like to call the laziness myth. You've heard the argument, right? If students can just get answers instantly from an AI, they'll never bother to do the hard work of, actually reading and thinking for themselves. It sounds pretty plausible, but is it really true? So this slide really frames that whole debate perfectly. On one side, you've got the myth. Giving students an AI tutor whenever they want it is just going to stop them from ever cracking open the textbook. But on the other side, we have this surprising reality that's coming out of new research, that unrestricted access might actually be the best way to learn. It acts as what researchers call instructional scaffolding, which is just a fancy way of saying it gives you support exactly when you need it, helping you build a much stronger foundation of knowledge.
So to figure this out, researchers set up this really cool experiment. You had one group of students, the control group, who just got a standard economics textbook to study for an exam. Simple enough. Then, the other groups got that same textbook plus an AI tutor. But here's the kicker. Some of them had restricted access to that tutor, while others could use it right from the get-go.
And get this, the results were not at all what you'd expect. The group with unrestricted access to the AI tutor, right, the one you'd assume would be the laziest, they scored a whopping 8.6% higher than the students with no AI at all. They didn't just beat them, they blew right past the group that was forced to read for 10 minutes before even touching the AI. So what does that tell us? More freedom, it seems, actually led to better results. So why is that?
Well, this quote pretty much nails it. The researchers figured out that forcing students into that read first, ask questions later box actually messes up their natural learning flow. I mean, think about it. When you get stuck on something, the best thing to do is get it cleared up right then and there, not save up all your confusion for some designated question time later.
And this slide shows you exactly how that played out. The unrestricted group didn't just ditch the textbook. Look at that. They gradually mixed the AI into their studying, weaving back and forth between reading and asking questions. The restricted group, on the other hand, held all their questions and then boom, they unleashed this massive, intense burst of prompts the second the AI unlocked, and then their engagement just trailed off. You see the difference? The first way is learning. The second way is just cramming.
Okay, so AI doesn't automatically make students lazy. Cool. But what about the quality of the help it gives? This brings us to the second big myth, that AI feedback is just generic, robotic, and there's no way it can understand the messy, human process of doing creative work, like writing a big essay.
Well, that idea is changing, and it's changing fast, thanks to a new concept called process-aware feedback. So instead of just reading your final draft, this new kind of AI actually watches how you write. It's logging your keystrokes, your pauses, where you delete and rewrite things. It's not just looking at the finished product, it's analyzing the entire journey you took to get there.
And just look at the kind of feedback this thing can generate. It's not, you have a typo here. It's this incredible insight that came from the study. The AI noticed a long pause and connected it to a major shift in the essay's argument. It's basically saying, hey, I see you stopped right here to completely rethink your strategy. That's not a grammar check. That is a full-on writing coach. And what did the students think? They found it incredibly effective. A huge 83% said this feedback pinpointed their main writing problems. 72% felt like it actually understood why they made certain revisions. Now, it wasn't perfect. A little over half felt it was maybe a bit too critical of early mistakes they'd already fixed. But still, overall, this is feedback that feels deeply personal and really, really insightful.
All right, so we've busted a couple of big myths about how AI can work in theory. But let's get practical now. Let's move from the research lab into the real world. I mean, how can you actually apply all this stuff? What does a modern student's AI toolkit even look like today? Because let me tell you, it's not just about one single chatbot anymore. No way. We're talking about a whole specialized ecosystem of tools for every single stage of learning, all designed to support that natural, flexible style of studying we were just looking at.
First up, research and discovery. This used to be the absolute worst part, right? Well, tools like Perplexity can give you clean answers with citations, so you're not drowning in Google ad spam. And services like Consensus, Cite, and Elicit, these things do the heavy lifting of a literature review for you. They'll tell you what thousands of academic papers conclude on a topic, saving you just a ton of time.
Okay, stage 2, managing that fire hose of information. For those super dense, jargon-filled PDFs, you've got tools like Humata and Explain Paper that let you literally chat with the document to get simple explanations. In a lecture, Otter.ai can transcribe the whole thing, letting you focus on understanding instead of just typing frantically. And then something like Notion AI can instantly turn those messy notes into a perfectly structured study guide. It's amazing.
And finally, writing and revision. Grammarly Go goes way beyond spell check now. It helps you refine your arguments and your academic tone. Tools like Quizlet and Anki use AI to automatically make flashcards from your notes, making active recall pretty much effortless. And you can even use services like 11 Labs to turn your study guides into audio so you can revise on your commute or at the gym.
So, we've seen the research, we've seen the tools, but this brings us to what is, without a doubt, the most important part of this whole conversation. Because for all the power these systems have, how effective a tool is always comes back to the person who's using it. Let's circle back to that first study for a second. The researchers found that the students who got the most benefit from the AI tutor were the ones who already had good self-regulation skills. Students who didn't procrastinate much saw their performance jump by a massive 0.35 standard deviations. This shows pretty clearly that AI doesn't fix bad habits.
And honestly, this is the ultimate takeaway from all the research we've looked at. AI is not a magic bullet. It's not going to replace discipline or curiosity or critical thinking. What it does is act as a massive amplifier. If you already have good study habits, AI is going to make you an incredibly efficient and powerful learner.
Which leaves us with one final, pretty deep question about the future of education. If these AI tools get really good at handling the what and the how of studying, finding information, summarizing it, structuring it, what's left for us humans to do? Well, maybe our most important job as learners is shifting away from mastering the what and the how to truly deeply understanding the why.